install his leads.
Okay, the red hose is the high side. It connects to it connects to can't think of the name of it.
Test port number one?
Test port number 2. No, this is one.
Number 2.
Okay. Number 2.
Okay.
And then the blue, which is the low side, it connects to test port number 3.
Okay.
The yellow is the bypass. It connects to test port number 4.
So he is installing the leads onto each of those.
I can't get anything to catch. I don't know why sometimes they're hard to catch. There we go.
That these connect to.
We want to open the number 2 test card, which is the high hose, all the way. Then you want to open, which is red. It matches. You want to flush the line, wash the hose there. Okay. Then you want to open number 2, which is the low side, all the way. And then you want to open the bleeder, which is the same color.
That's flushing that also?
That's flushing that. You're flushing. You hear that spit? Get the air out?
Yeah. So you're flushing.
The air in, you get a false reading.
So you're flushing
then
2
you
lines.
Close the red, which is the high side. Come right here. I'm going to close the red. And then your gauge should peg out. Once the gauge pegs out, you want to close the green or the blue. Okay. First thing you want to record is your line pressure.
It looks like a little, almost 80, is that 85 PSI?
About 84.
84, okay.
Now, that's your first test. Your second test is your relief valve. Okay? Pressure exceeds the city's pressure. The relief valve will dump trying to equalize the pressure. So that's what I'm getting ready to do. I'm going to simulate that. Okay?
Okay.
It has to dump.
You're simulating what?
I'm simulating the pressure on the downstream side exceeding the city's incoming pressure.
Okay, so if the city had a lower pressure and the pressure on the back side of the system main was higher than the city's pressure.
Then it will push water back into the system, but the relief valve will catch that water and dump it.
So you're going to simulate that now?
Mm-hmm. So
okay.
Open the red here, relief valve. Keep an eye on the gauge. I can get it to turn, the right won't turn. There we go. Now the gauge should dump before it gets to 2 PSIs. Watch the relief valve. It should dump before this gets to 2 PSIs.
Okay, so we're going to look and see. There it goes.
Okay, see it's dumping.
It's starting to expel that water.
Yeah, okay. So now my relief valve started working at 4 PSIs, which it passed. If it's less than 2 PSIs, it fails.
Okay, so
PSIs. If it dumped at 2 PSIs or less, it fails.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I close it back. I close it back, okay? Now, I want to check the number 2 shutoff valve by reversing water. I'm going to bring water from here and take it to the back to check and see if it's holding, okay? So the way you do that is, that's supposed to be loose tight because you want to make sure there's no air in it. So I open this up so I get water, okay? I'm getting air out. I want to tighten it while it's running, okay? Mm-hmm. Once it stops, I close this back. I open the test cop. I bleed it.
Okay, so we're dumping water out there.
All right, once the air is out, I close it. I open the bypass. Now I'm putting water on the back side of that number 2 check valve. Open it. The gauge should not move. Gauge didn't move. So the number 2 check valve is holding tight.
Okay.
Now, I want to check the number 2 shutoff valve. Make sure there's no water going through. So I close the number 2 test cock. If it starts to dump water, that tells me that the number 2 shutoff valve is not holding. But it's not dumping water, so the number 2 shutoff valve is holding.
Okay.
Okay?
So we're tight.
Right. Number 2 shutoff valve is tight. Now we're going to check the number 1 shutoff valve. I mean, check valve. So you go and you open up number 2 test cock. Okay? You close the bypass. You reset your gauge. Okay? Close it. Your number 2 check valve is holding at what, 9.6? And it's holding. So I can say number 2 number 2 check valve is holding tight and it's holding at 9, whatever that is.
Okay.
Now, you said, I told you it was at 4.0. I can't remember.
Right.
I can't. Okay. All right. Not the buffer, the relief valve, excuse me.
Right.
4.0. So the way you get your buffer is you subtract the relief valve from the pressure from the number 1 check.
So 9 minus 4.
Will be 5.
Okay.
So your buffer will be 5 psi's, which it has to be more than 3. So it passed. So you're good with your buffer. Now I only got one more test. I have to test the number 2 check.
Number 2
So now
check.
all these are shut off. Shut all these off. And you want to move the gauges down. Okay? You don't need that anymore. So you move blue down to 4.
And you're going to move red to
Red
3.
down to 3. And we're going to basically do the same thing we did when we started off. You want to open the red. You want to get the air out. Okay?
Okay.
Then you want to open
Flushing.
the blue. Tell if I'm going too fast.
No.
Then you want to open the valve. Hit the air.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then you want to close the red. Come over here. Once you close the red, the peg should peg out. You gotta let it peg out. Once it pegs out, you shut it off. It has to be above 1 psi. It should stop at 1 psi. That's your number 1. That's your number 2 check. See what stopped at?
Right at 3.
3. Excellent. Good strong spring. This backflow passed the test.